Alright, sorry, I had some technical difficulties. I've tried starting this episode like 3 times, but it looks like we are back. Sorry for having to break this one in half, but I couldn't continue that day that I was working on these. It's been a couple weeks, and so I'm trying to remember where I was, but Trauma Team, Naomi's story. Let's see.
Yes, these 2 facts do tell us something. It's more than that the person who had found the corpse stole something. There's one more important fact involved with this case.
The information at hand indicates that the victim died in the river? I'm seeing an earring. Oh yeah, because he only found one.
Yes, only one of the victim's earrings was at the scene. Either it came off somewhere, or she was only wearing one all along. Where could the other earring have gone?
See, one of the earrings was found, the other one wasn't the kind. Where could it have gone? Pathological change. There's not really anything I can blend. Oh, there it is.
Dr. Kimishima, we've identified the vehicle from the accident.
Good. That's rather quick. For you guys.
Hey, come on. We're a national government agency. We'll have the recording from the driver's interview later. He pretty much admits to what we suspected had happened. So, case closed?
Easy there. It's too early to relax yet.
What do you mean? I mean, the culprits.
Do you think that just catching the truck driver will solve this case?
Doesn't it?
A 23-year-old woman was walking alone in the mountains 8 kilometers from home. You think she was just walking the dog?
Okay, that does sound odd. So the investigation's not over yet.
Indeed. Go look into the parents' hospital records. From the size of those bruises, they would have needed to be treated at a hospital.
Got it. What will you be doing, Dr. Kimishima?
I'm going to investigate the victim's house. Keep the parents in custody until I'm done.
Right. I'll tell the ones in charge right now.
Alright, let's go to Veronica's room. She is the victim. Oh, this is like a little girl's room.
These pieces of glass seem to have come from a mirror. Let's see. Ah, the mirror on the dresser's been broken. It seems there's something here that isn't part of the broken mirror. It's the same earring that the man who had found the body had stolen. But what would this be doing here?
It was swept up.
Indeed. All the shattered glass was neatly placed in one area. That means that someone had cleaned up the glass shard. They must have swept up the earring along with the glass. If that's the case, was the earring with the glass pieces when the mirror was broken? In any case, since it reacted with the spray, there must be blood on this earring. I'll need to have the little guy analyze it and see if it tells us anything.
It was probably ripped out of her ear.
It's an ordinary package of breath mints. Just as I thought. These aren't mints in here.
Unknown
These
medication.
markings seem to indicate that this medication was produced for a pharmacy. I might be able to ask the little guy to find out just what it is.
Okay, that's it. Okay. Let us leave the scene and see what little guy has. All right.
Dr. Kimishima, we've received the interview with the truck driver from the accident.
Huh, all right. How did he seem?
It's easy to sympathize with him. Sounds like a case of wrong time, wrong place.
I see. All right, I'll check the recorder.
Please do. I'll transfer it over to you.
I need to pay careful attention to his account of what happened before and after the accident. What Veronica was doing prior to being hit, and what the driver did afterwards. That's what I should be sure to listen for.
Okay. Let's listen to this dude. Charles.
What do you want? I didn't do anything. I don't know. A woman. That woman. It's not my fault. I was supposed to drive a shipment to a nearby town. Damn it, they forced me to do it. Why the hell would someone be sleeping in the middle of a mountain road at midnight anyway? It's not my fault. It's not my fault. I turned a corner and she was lying on the bridge. I slammed on the brakes, but I wasn't fast enough, and I ran all over. I got out of the truck to see, and she wasn't breathing. I panicked, and I threw her off the bridge. I don't know why. It's just I wanted to make it look like nothing happened, that I wouldn't be involved. You mean, what did she look like? I don't remember anything, but her arms and legs were cold and hard, and wouldn't bend at all. Picking her up was a real pain.
Whoa, what the hell? So she wasn't sleeping, she was already dead.
I turned a corner.
She was sleeping on the bridge? If this man was telling the truth, then the victim had already collapsed there from the start. It
All right.
doesn't seem like he was lying. What in the world does this mean?
And then he's got another statement that we gotta look at. What did you do afterwards? He said he tossed her into the river.
I turned a corner. I slammed on the brakes, but I got out of the truck. I panicked.
He threw the victim's body over the bridge.
Okay.
This means that the victim wasn't knocked off the bridge by being struck by a vehicle.
Yeah. All right. Let's put some cards together.
Hey, little guy.
Yes, of course. Did you find it in the victim's room?
That's right. It looks like it's prescribed medication. But what is it?
Who knows? It's definitely no common over-the-counter drug. I'd suspect that this would have to be prescribed by a doctor before someone can buy it.
Okay.
I see,
Prescribed
that makes
medication.
This could mean that the victim had attended a hospital. Was the victim suffering from some kind of injury or disease? If our analysis continues, we may find something out.
All right. Can you find where the hospital where this was written and find out what the medication is for? Not a problem. It's bloody. Let me see. The victim was lying there before she had the accident. No. Let's see. It's bloody.
Hey, little guy.
Sure, send it over to me. I see. There's blood on it. The DNA matches the victim as well. Also, this metal fitting seems warped. Could it be worn out from use?
That doesn't seem to be the case.
A bloodstain.
It's not on the ornament. It's on the needle part that goes through the ear. If there's blood there that matches the victim, then the earring was...
It was ripped out of her ear.
If that's the case, the damage to the fitting makes sense. But what could happen that would cause an earring to be torn off?
I don't know yet. Still, there must be some connection to everything else here. I think this information may lead us to some more concrete evidence.
Okay. The other one was...
True. Both of these facts relate to the earrings. The victim was discovered with only one of these earrings, and the other one was discovered in her room with her blood on it. Normally, if someone had an earring torn off to the point that it caused bleeding, they would have to realize that something was wrong. Still, the victim was on a bridge 8 kilometers away from her home. What this shows is that
the reason went to the bridge after having an earring turn out was because... She was taken by force? Alright, we're getting to the end.
That's right. She didn't leave this room by her own will. She was probably forced out of here by someone else. That could explain how one of the earrings was left in the room. But why would whoever abducted her leave her on a bridge 8 kilometers away? I feel like there's a lot of truth that remains to be uncovered.
Dr. Kimishima, the results of the analysis on the corpse have come back.
Good. Did they find anything new?
It looks that way. The report indicates that the fractures to the femurs and skull, they were all posthumous injuries.
So these wounds were inflicted after she died.
Yes, that's what the report says.
Okay. But that's probably from the... So she was dead when the car hit her.
Oh, by the way, Dr. Kimishima, about that prescription.
Did you find something out?
Yes, we found which hospital the victim had been going to, and it says Veronica had been to the hospital a month prior to her death. Her symptoms were migraines, visual and auditory hallucinations, mood swings, and aggression. It also says she was vomiting blood and had convulsions, along with hemoptysis.
Convulsions?
Yes, that's what it says. The doctors urged her to have more detailed examination, but it seems that she had no intention of listening to them. In the end, she left the hospital and whatever disease she had went unconfirmed.
If only her doctor had forced her to be hospitalized.
That's just how things are these days. People don't really get concerned about strangers.
Let's continue with the investigation. Sorry for being emotional just now. In any case, we don't know what disease she had. Judging from her symptoms, it was something severe.
I agree. If we find anything out, I'll be sure to let you know immediately.
You do that. It may give us another hint in solving this case.
You do that, little guy. Okay. And then this is the record. What do we got? Okay. Let me see, what is this? Is that what the drugs were for? No? Okay. Bloodstains on the clothing device seem to have hemorrhaging. Was this a symptom?
Yes, we can put these two facts together. According to the chart from the hospital, the victim's condition caused her to vomit blood. If she had continued to vomit blood after her hospital visit, that would explain the bloodstains on her clothing.
Okay.
Yes. Thus, these bloodstains were caused by the blood that she had vomited.
The bloodstains on the chest are likely from the victim vomiting blood. I recall a focus on the body.
We can deduce the victim's physical state from this information. First, the pathological changes. There's no knowing what disease she had. However, if this discoloration of the bones shows the existence of a focus, it's safe to assume that whatever disease she was suffering from was in an advanced state. The massive bloodstains on her clothes came from her vomiting blood. There aren't many conditions that cause that much hemorrhaging. From these 2 points alone, I conclude that she was already in terminal condition. Even if she hadn't been killed, she was already on the brink of death.
I see. I feel sorry for her, but if that's the case, then why?
Why was she kidnapped? I still have my doubts about that, actually. Did the murderer kidnap her? Or did that even happen?
What do you mean?
Whatever the case, she was definitely taken from her home before she died. The question now is what happened between the time she was taken until the car accident.
Right, I follow you.
Once we know that, we should finally be able to see the real truth behind this case. Little guy, I'm going to check the victim's room one more time.
I thought you might want to, so I have a new tool ready for you.
Someone's prepared. And what kind of present do you have for me?
It's not the most appropriate gift for a lady, but it's aluminum powder for finding fingerprints. There are some useful additions to the mixture.
Ah, great. I'm impressed.
I'm glad you like it. Spread the powder anywhere that looks suspicious and shine your investigation light on it.
And that'll make any fingerprints stand out? All right, I'll give it a try.
Good luck. Well then.
Aluminum powder can now be used while investigating crime scenes. Alright. I guess I'm going back out to her house. Aluminum powder is useful for examining. Press down while zoomed in, then press A to use it. And then shine the ALS to find fingerprints. Where would the fingerprints be? I would assume they'd be over here somewhere. Maybe her door? Or her desk? What would have fingerprints on it? I would have assumed it would have been her, like, cabinets and stuff, right? Weird. It's not the doorknobs. Oh shit. Oh my god.
So many. These are all the same fingerprints. It's likely they belong to the victim. Now, why would she leave so many fingerprints on the floor?
She was crawling on the floor.
Yes. She was probably crawling on the floor to move around. The prints indicate she was heading towards...
Outside?
The prints on the floor lead to the room's entrance. What's underneath the mat? Nothing. Just as I thought. These are bloodstains. They must be Veronica's. Considering the facts so far, these bloodstains must have been caused...
Her hemorrhaging. Yeah.
Yes. Veronica's clothing was covered in blood that she had vomited. The amount of blood here is more than would be a fatal loss in most people, but there's something odd about these bloodstains. Blood is a liquid. It should be evenly spread across the floor. If there was one reason for the bloodstains to be shaped like...
The door was closed. So if we close the door, we'll see a bunch more.
That's why the blood spread unevenly. This door had been closed when Veronica was vomiting blood. Thus, the room is now in the same condition as it was when that happened.
Yeah, she was trying to escape.
The lower part of the door has numerous scratches on it. What could these scratches be? Huh? Bloodstains? Inside the scratch marks? From looking at the shape and location of these scratches, they are...
They were caused by scratching. We just talked about that. You just said it.
Yes, these are traces that someone had clawed at the door. On top of that, it was done with such desperation that their own nails cracked and bled.
Okay, let's get out of here. Oh, this one got real dark. Alright, little guy, what you got?
We can deduce the victim's condition within this room by putting these facts together. Veronica was crawling on the floor. It's likely that this is because of the mysterious disease she was suffering from. It sapped her strength to the point that she was unable to even stand. She had an attack of her disease inside this room.
Solid evidence. It says his bloodstains indicates Veronica must have died in the room.
These bloodstains are at the entrance to the room. The door was closed when Veronica vomited blood. That, along with the scratches on the inside of the door, there's just one sad conclusion we can reach.
That when Veronica was in the room, she was locked in.
Yes. Veronica was prevented from leaving here. Writhing in pain and unable to open the door, she lost a lethal amount of blood and died right here. She wasn't kidnapped and killed.
Okay. What is this? Oh, we still don't know her thing, yeah. That's it? Oh, he's gonna give me the... No, I thought he was gonna give me the, like... We have more information. Okay, so... These records say the victim was going to the hospital. This one says all the factors except for her broken finger occurred after death. Okay. I can't really use that one anymore. What can I combine these? Oh.
If I were to sum up the driver's account prior to the accident, the victim was...
lying on the ground. She was already dead.
Right. The victim had already been collapsed on the road, and after he ran her over,
he threw her ass off the river. Into the river.
Yes. He threw the victim over the bridge. Little guy, what's the FBI's opinion about this?
He's already admitted to killing her. Why would he lie about that?
Indeed. His account coincides with the evidence I had found as well.
Huh? What evidence?
Well, if she had been standing when she was hit by the truck, the fractures to her bones would have indicated a strong impact from one certain direction. In this case, nothing of that sort was observed.
I see. What about the shattered skull, then?
The skull fractures are consistent with a strong impact to the top of the head. It would be unnatural for it to have been due to a car accident. Considering what happened to the victim, it can be deduced that something else caused that fracture. That is...
when she was thrown off the bridge.
If she was unconscious when she fell from the bridge, the fracture due to an impact to the top of the skull is understandable.
I see. You're right, that...
Yes. However, that raises questions about the victim herself. Why in the world was this woman so far from home? And why would she be lying in the middle of a bridge in the mountains at that time of night?
That's a valid point. I guess there are still some mysteries left unsolved here.
Indeed. We'll have to continue investigating in more detail.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, we were were able to look into the parents' injuries.
Good job. What did you find?
Yes, there were records that the parents had been going to a hospital, like you said. Let's see, it looks like they'd started being frequent visitors to the hospital 2 months ago.
How many times is frequent?
Oh, we didn't check every detail, but it was several times, ending about a month ago. The hospital staff seemed worried since many of the injuries seemed to be signs of abuse.
Did they tell the doctors who had been physically assaulting them?
No, they didn't. However, some of their injuries were quite severe. The mother seemed to have suffered some visual impediments due to a wound on her eye.
I see. Further investigation is required to determine who had been abusing them.
Okay. The victim's parents began going to the hospital 2 months ago and stopped after a month. Who else?
True, these two do share a common link. The victim's hospital records say she'd been at the hospital.
1.
How could I do that?
2.
Yes, 2 months ago. For the month before her death, she'd been treated at the hospital. Now, the parents' hospital records say they'd been visiting the hospital since...
2 months as well.
Yes. They also started visiting the hospital 2 months ago. Veronica was going for migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, and vomiting blood. And her parents were going after suffering frequent injuries. A month before the victim was found dead, the parents suddenly stopped having these injuries. An unpleasant coincidence, to be sure. I hope there's no connection here.
Yeah, so probably because of her disease, she was going violent and like hitting him. All right, let me see.
The victim's femurs were fractured in the accident with the truck. Her skull was shattered when her body was dropped from the bridge. We've confirmed that both those injuries occurred after death. From those facts, it's clear that when the victim was on the bridge,
She was already dead.
yes. Even if she hadn't been run over by the truck, she was already dead. That means that the driver was telling the truth in his interrogation.
Then does that mean that she was kidnapped from her room, murdered, and then had her corpse dumped on that bridge?
I don't know that just yet. We'll need to investigate a little more.
That's all I got.
Can you do something for me, little guy? I need this bone analyzed in detail.
Oh, sure. What do you mean by in detail, though?
I just need to know if this fracture occurred before or after death.
This must have happened while she was still alive. Take a look at this area here. You can see where it started healing.
Great. I thought as much.
Fractured finger has become
There's no
pre-mortem
knowing yet
fracture.
if this has anything to do with this case, but I do know now that this fracture occurred while she was still alive. According to the charts, the victim's symptoms were migraines, hallucinations, mood swings, vomiting blood, hemoptysis, and perhaps most importantly,
Increased aggression.
yes, sudden aggressive behavior. That is, she was acting out violently. Her conditions must have worsened severely a month before her death. That is, her violent tendencies would have increased in frequency and severity. In addition to that is the fracture in Veronica's finger. This is the only injury she had while alive. That's a common injury when people hit things with their fists. On the other hand, the parents' injuries seemed like signs of abuse. If I were to consider all these points, those wounds...
Veronica was beating her parents.
Right. The hospital records of both the victim and her parents, they show that Veronica had been physically abusing her parents.
That's it. Case closed.
the dead shall speak. Let's put together the truth of what happened here. A woman's skeleton was found 50 kilometers downriver of the city. The victim's name is Veronica Cage. She was 23 years old. She was suffering from some sort of illness. It caused her severe pain, along with mental instability. When she couldn't go on, she snapped and turned violent. This card shows the truth of that emotional state.
The increasingly aggressive was that one.
The patient had frequently physically assaulted her parents. This same disease finally caused her own death as well. This card shows evidence of that final attack.
The evidence that Veronica had an attack of her disease when she died is this one.
Yes, there were traces of blood at her room's entrance. During the attack, she writhed in agony about the room. The shattered mirror is evidence of that violent behavior. Eventually, her strength gave out and she collapsed. She used the last of her strength to try to leave the room. However, her one final wish was left unanswered. This card speaks to that sad truth.
When Veronica attempted to leave her room, this is what happened.
In her fading consciousness, she tore at the door. But she died there, and the culprits carried her body out. The proof of this is on this card. Exactly. The earring caught on something while she was being carried. She was already dead when the earring was torn from her ear. Most likely, her death surprised the ones responsible. They then cleaned the room to hide any signs she was there. But whoever cleaned the room had poor eyesight, and thus did not see the earring among the mirror shards. The body had to be hidden as well. Their plan was to throw the body off a bridge 8 kilometers away. But they were scared off by a pair of oncoming headlights. This culprit, with a bad back, gave up and fled the scene. Those headlights belonged to the blue truck. The driver could not avoid the body and ran over her. The driver believed he had killed her and dumped the body. Ironically, what he did only completed the culprit's plan. This card has proof that she was already dead when run over.
That one.
Hiding a corpse is a crime, but the driver wasn't the murderer. The ones responsible are those who locked her away to die. She sought help, not knowing that none would ever come. Her last words are the proof of that desperation. This is the whole truth in how her life was cut short. I don't know what the dead want, but the truth must come out. I'm going to see the ones who cut your life's thread short.
the medical examiner. What brings you here?
Your daughter died in suffering. She struggled, she shouted, and she clawed at her door. She tried to escape so terribly that her own nails tore off. Why didn't you open the door?
There was no choice. We wanted her to be happy. We wanted her to be normal. We never thought this would...
Her death may have been inescapable. But you defiled her death in order to protect yourselves. That can never be forgiven.
Dang, Naomi said. Defilers.
When death came to you, did you suffer? Soon I will know for myself.
Miss Kimishima, your test results have come back.
I see. Let me ask you up front. How long do I have until my flame goes out?
A year at best. Maybe 6 months.
I understand. Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. Kimishima, the helicopter's here to take you to the lab.
All right. Thank you. Rosalia. What is this? Someone's name?
Dr. Kimishima, are you all right up there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'll be right down.
Boom. Wandering Girl. All right. That is it for Naomi Kimishima. We're 2 up, 2 down, 2 to go. Rosalia is going to come up later in the story. It's a big thing. It's a big part of the story. So I think out of all of the ones that we've seen so far, it's the first time it's come up. So it is something that's going to pop up again. But yeah, next time we'll do something a little bit more fast-paced, and then we'll just kind of see what happens. But again, sorry for splitting it in 2, and I promise that I'm going to try to not do that anymore. Just, I gotta make sure I eat before I play, you know, because then same thing's going to happen. So that's it. All right, bye.